Hello, my friends. I wanted to focus today's practice on grief and loss. I've been spending a lot of time with clients and friends and family who have all been struggling with loss, whether a loss of a loved one, loss of time, loss of the ability to live a normal daily life. And as I've been talking with my clients, we've been talking about how grief is not a bad thing. It's not a bad emotion. And emotions aren't good or bad. They're comfortable and uncomfortable. And grief is definitely an uncomfortable emotion. And what tends to happen, especially as we experience some kind of trauma, we want to push it away. We want to run as far away from it as possible. And the best thing that you can do is lean into it and move through it. So today's practice is about connecting with our grief, connecting with our uncomfortable emotions, and just riding that wave. So thank you for being with me today. And we're going to start off in our easy pose. And we're going to just do some breathing, just grounding down into the earth and settling into our practice. And take in a nice deep breath, breathing in and breathing out. And as you breathe in, notice the air going into your lungs, as well as the side body, just filling up all corners of the lungs. And letting go. We're going to linger here a little longer today. We're not going to do any major stretching or balancing. This is just about getting into our bodies. So I'm going to invite you to take your right hand and place it on your heart, while you take your left hand and place it on your belly. And we're going to continue to breathe, feeling into our bodies, just noticing whatever comes up. And if something uncomfortable comes up, we're just going to let it be present without judging it or trying to change it. This may be a very vulnerable time for some of you out there. And I just want to let you know, I got you. I got your back. And so we know that when emotions come up, sometimes we just need somebody to catch us. And just notice the heart beating, the air flowing through your body, your chest rising and falling. And take in one deep cleansing breath. And as you let it go, let your hands float back down to your knees. Either palms up or palms down, whatever's comfortable for you. And we're going to take those hands and we're going to float them out to our sides and raise them on up nice and slow over our heads, reaching up to the sky, opening up that heart, and then maybe taking a little bend back while bringing those arms to cactus, pushing that heart further out. And raise those hands up overhead again. And take a bend forward. And see if you can go all the way forward and down. Taking the palms to the floor. And gently rise back up, raising those arms back overhead and dropping them to the side. And we're going to take those legs and swing them around to the side and come up to our tabletop. Bringing those hands under our shoulders. And gently, very gently, we're going to do our cat-cow, just noticing what's coming up. Taking a lift up with the heart shining forward. Gently bending up. And forward, pulling that navel to your side, pushing up and out of your body. And again, come into our cow pose, pushing up and out of your arms. Arching, taking a cleansing breath in. And let's do a full breath cycle here. And at the top of your in-breath, we're going to bend over, pulling that navel to spine, pushing up out of our arms. And come into neutral spine. Bump that right hip to the right side. And take that right hand, cross it over the left. And just do a nice bending, making a U shape with your body. And release that. Take it around to the other side. Bring that hip to the left while rounding over to the right with that left hand. Notice what's coming up. What body sensations are coming up? What emotions? And come back to neutral spine. We're going to come on down to our puppy pose, stretching those arms all the way out, but not quite going all the way down. And hold it there. And then gently lower that forehead to the mat. Noticing how the mat is supporting your forehead. And it may even feel like a relief because you've been thinking so much. And let's bring ourselves back up, walking the hands back to under our shoulders. We're going to come back into our seated posture again. Bringing those arms out in front of us, all the way up. And then we're going to drop those arms out to our sides while twisting. So we're shining our heart over to the right. So notice we're emphasizing the heart today and opening ourselves up to feel vulnerable. And if you're somebody who tends to really work to not feel vulnerable, this might be really uncomfortable, and that's okay. This is about getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. And let's come back up with the arms up to the sky and come over to the left side, opening up those arms with a twist. Raise those arms up overhead and float those hands back down. And we're going to just do a little movement with the arms. So taking the arms, dropping them down, palms up, pushing down a little bit, and putting some tension on those arms, on those wrists, and release. And then we're going to float those arms up to the side, taking a breath in and releasing them down. Let's do that again. Floating those hands up, taking a breath in and floating them down. We're going to take those arms around, grabbing a hold of opposite shoulder, pulling down, chin to chest, giving ourselves a big hug. And release. And we're going to float those arms out to the sides. And then we're going to bring them back in, holding our arms the opposite way. Float them back in, grabbing opposite shoulders, and tuck that chin down. Just holding ourselves, being gentle. You're letting whatever comes up come up without judging it or trying to change it. We're just going to move through this. And And release. Float those arms out to the side. And we're going to reach behind us, clasp behind our back, and shine that heart up. And release. Let's swing those legs out, seated. And we're going to find ourselves lying down. So nice and easy. Let's lie down on our back. Send those legs straight out. And we're going to come into a fish pose. So take a lift up, arching up, pulling up, shining that heart to the sky. Maybe resting your head on the mat. And release. Pull those knees to your chest. And release. Let's send them back out again. We're going to do our fish pose. Take those hands, tuck them underneath your lower back, and lift that chest up to the sky. Release. Bring those knees back up. And this time, holding your knees, you're going to peel that nose up to the knees. Giving yourself a big squeeze. And release those feet flat to the floor. And if you want to, you could either do a happy baby or maybe just grab those knees and roll around, just letting go. Releasing all the tension you've been carrying. And then find stillness. Take your arms out to your sides. Again, this is a vulnerable pose. Opening up that heart. And let those knees fall to the left while you look to the right. And just let gravity do its thing. Keeping that right shoulder blade on the ground. And release, and drop those knees to the right side while turning your head to the left. And release. One final hug. Bring those knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze and release it all out, sending those legs out in front of you to rest. And we'll come into our Shavasana. Actually, let's do this. We're going to pull our legs up into butterfly, recline butterfly. And we're going to find our final pose here, taking those arms out to the sides, palms up and resting. And if you don't want to do it this way, you're welcome to just do traditional Shavasana. And let's find stillness. And just listen to our bodies. Notice whatever comes up. Any sensations, any emotions. And just let them be there. I'm going to round out our practice today, but you are welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. Let's bring those knees back up, and then we're going to drop them to the side and bring the top hand over to push yourself up to our seated pose. I want to remind you to be gentle with yourself and take care of yourself. Moving through this is like a wave. There will be times when it's really, really big and the emotion is so large you don't know that you can handle it. But you can, and you will. I hope this practice was helpful today. From my heart to yours, Namaste.